It's super simple, wonderfully aromatic, and transportative whatever the weather. So I've got 450 grams of quinoa here, which I have soaked overnight, about 12 hours. And it's really worth soaking because you get a lovely quick cook, 2 minutes, and it's even. And what you want with this salad is a lovely tender grain that's been cooked well, not soggy, not crunchy. So I'm gonna quickly boil this. And I'm gonna let that drain, well, steam dry really, while I prepare the rest of the salad. So that was pretty simple. Now for my makrut lime leaves. These are absolutely gorgeous and gives that lovely taste of far away without having to get a whole load of different ingredients. Now we were given this plant and we keep it on the windowsill all year round. It's happiest between about 15 to 30 degrees Celsius. But you can buy these in an Oriental supermarket. You want the fresh ones. So I'm just folding these leaves just to remove the sort of main vein. It smells so exotic. I've got 5 here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of put them all on top of each other. And then I'm going to sort of roll them into a bit of a cigar shape, like so. And then, as finely as you can, just slicing. Don't worry too much, but again, take your time. They're quite strong in flavour, so you don't want anyone to bite into a large piece of these. This really is an integral ingredient in this dish, so you do need to get your hands on it before you commit to making a salad, because there really isn't something else that will replace it. And again, not the dried leaves you can buy, but fresh ones. So, that's done. I've got the juice of 5 limes here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop them in and let them sort of soak, and they get a bit tender like that. And this is going to be my sort of dressing for the salad. Like that. Just like so. So I've got my 5 limes in there, and I've got my 5 makrut lime leaves. I'm going to put all the salt, hopefully, that I want for the whole salad in here. And that's just because if I season it once as a dressing, I'm more likely to have a lovely even seasoning through the salad. So I've got salt, a little bit of pepper, and then about 4 or 5 tablespoons of olive oil. This isn't an oily salad, just a little bit to balance it out. And I wouldn't use anything too peppery or too fresh, just a nice mild extra virgin olive oil. There we are. And this salad will serve 6 to 8 happily. So plenty to go round, or it can sit in the fridge for up to 4 days. It really doesn't lose the flavour. The herbs might be a bit less vibrant, but it's a great salad for picnics, packed lunches. So I've got my coriander, about 100 grams here, and another 100 grams of spring onion, so quite an easy recipe to remember. So just take your time to nice and finely slice these onions. You don't want to bite into a large piece of onion. Find that the sort of stalks have a lot of the aromatics in them, so you don't want to throw those away. So I've got my spring onions and my coriander in here, and then I've got 100 grams of desiccated coconut. Simple like that. So I'm going to have a little taste. So very strong, which is what I want because all of that quinoa needs a nice bit of flavour. All in there, like so. And then my quinoa. Make sure that your quinoa is room temperature. You don't want a hot grain going into that lovely fresh coriander and spring onions. Give it a good stir, coat it all round, and then I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes just to sit. I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to show you how it looks. It doesn't need much in the way of garnish. But a little bit of toasted coconut on top. Squeeze of lime. And voila, your makrut lime leaf salad with quinoa and toasted coconut, spring onion and coriander. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of What on Earth to Eat Now.